So Ed, today I had a kind of I had a kind of a crisis moment, and in the middle of the crisis moment, which was like a crisis of belief, what do you call it, soul and spiritual belief versus um, mental belief. And mental belief, Ed, no matter what anyone says, it is quite strong, It can make a lot of decisions for us without us knowing that we're making those decisions. Let me explain what I just said to you, that even though we want to move in our heart and our soul belief system, we still make decisions from our mental belief system a lot of the time. And how this happens is when we are not aware that we are making decisions. You know what I mean? We are actually aware of our lives, right? We're actually only a very little aware of our lives. Most of us, because we have come through the school system, right? Through the education system, most of us are tuned to switching off our soul and our heart for certain periods of time during the day, and we turn it on only at particular times. A lot of us, this is why we need to listen to music, or why we have to go into nature. Now, going into nature is required natural human behavior. But let me tell you, a healthy human doesn't need to go to nature to switch on the heart. Doesn't need to, because we are nature. We are the earth. We are God here. We can go into the deepest hell and still be chilling, right? We don't need to go somewhere else to turn on any faculty of ours. This is like a huge misconception that a lot of people have. And God has directly, on so many occasions, directly taught me this. Like, many times I'll be like, oh, I want to go to this energy site, or I want to go here, or I want to buy this, or I want to do that. And every time the Spirit of God will say, if you want to do it out of joy, right, then do it. But don't you dare think that you need to go there to see me, meet me, or that you need to buy this crystal or have that herb for your healing. You know what I mean? There's no need for a natural human being. All the needs are delusory. Anytime you do something because you think you need it, that stuff won't work for you. In fact, you'll be throwing it and you'll be saying, oh, I wasted my money. You know what I mean? I have gone sometimes to places like, I'll take Gabriel and like go across the city. I did this last week. I thought I'll go there and I'll have a great, release of tension and all of that stuff. Didn't work out. I got irritated and came back. So, your life, even though your life is in the middle of hell, it is still a heaven because you are in it. Period. Okay? And what I want to tell you is that now what happens is that a lot of us are in all these delusions because of education and all the programming and everything. And we don't know that we are making decisions when we're doing things that we are not giving awareness to. For example, let's say I want, now for example, now I want to learn Italian. I have loved Italian from, it's my past lives heart language. And for what it's worth, it still is. And there is no explanation or logic or reason or whatever, other than that's how it is. Because I have lived in other places also in past lives, and I'm not itching to learn that language again. Okay? But I've always wanted to learn Italian, right? Now, if you want to learn another language, you got to invest time and energy into it. This is a fact. Anything you want to learn, you have to spend time. Now, I, with my soul, I want to learn Italian, but I've taken so many. I'm trying to learn since 1999, so you can imagine how much I've ignored it, right? I have ignored it, and I'll tell you, I didn't ignore it from my heart. My mental programming is thinking for what you want to learn Italian, like why, what for, what plans do you have? All these years it was like, it's good to learn a foreign language, and I'm sure there are wonderful things, literature and music and everything in Italian, for me to explore. That's one of the reasons that I wanted in the first place, that I motivated myself initially and all that. But the truth of the matter I found is, like, at the end of the day, as soon as I start doing something for any reason other than actual madness, like unreasonable love, unreasonable, unreasonable, craziness, suddenly I'm not that interested. You know what I mean? If I feel I need to do something, then the energy stops flowing. And let me tell you, Ed, that this is in my mind. This mental programming got set up in my mind that I should learn Italian because I wanted to read Pinocchio in Italian. I printed out that book, and I was like, okay, I'm going to learn Italian and then I'm going to read this because I felt that that book is full of spiritual energy, which I'm not getting in the English version. I could feel it with my heart. Maybe in my past life, I I don't know. I had, like, this was my instinct, right? But as soon as I began to think that I need it, and as soon as I printed it out, because I couldn't at the time, I couldn't buy it online, and I still can't order. I can't even order my own books, from Amazon because of how much the duty is to import it into India. Can you believe it? My own books, I don't have printouts of. Anyhow, I printed this out, like, at the printers, and then the pressure built on me. And then I didn't go. I didn't continue with it. And then there was also an incident where somebody was trying to imitate me, like destiny stealing, and so that also pissed me off. And then what happened is that, even though my soul wants to learn Italian, my mind began to my mind, which was subconscious brain and also conscious brain, which runs the day, began to classify it as not important. And so I didn't pursue something that seriously makes me fucking happy. I just be happy for no reason whatsoever, and I didn't do it because it was my mind making these micro decisions through the day. Mind. And let me tell you, a lot of the time we can give mixed signals to other people because we're moving in our programming. For example, my baby, my son Gabriel, of course I love him, adore him from head to foot and everything that he is, just the way he is. I swear I do. I just adore everything about this brat, you know. But I have so much programming in me about things, like how I grew up. Like, when I grew up, um, if something broke, there would be a huge drama, even if it was like something that could be replaced. It was something that was not more important than the child's heart. And yet there would be a huge drama, like, oh, how could you break this? And, like, the whole mood would spoil. And I caught myself doing that without knowing with Gabriel. Like, he tends to, I mean, he's a kid and he's a boy. You can imagine what the situation is. And, I thought of it. I was like, what the hell are you doing? You are so overreacting, because that's how you've seen other people deal with the situation. You're so overreacting. You can't spoil his mood about this. Of course, you got to tell him that you can't be breaking stuff, You can't drink a little milk from the bottle and then leave it out. You have to put it back in the fridge. These are important things you teach your child, right? But you can't make it like the world ended and we are all doomed. And honestly, I grew up with that kind of bitches and bastards. They used to make it like, you have let the whole community down by, being little careless about something or leaving something out of the fridge, and you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. It was all really overdone and frankly demonic, seriously. And I had those like demonic face expressions because they programmed into me. This is my beautiful child. I was making those faces and I was like, oh my god, I didn't even know that I'm giving him the wrong signals. My baby who is so precious to me, I'm giving him the wrong signals because of my programming, you know? So so I was like, oh my god, our mind, both our conscious mind and our subconscious mind, they are making decisions for us and taking us in directions that we don't want to go. They are sending signals to the people we love that we might not want to send. You know what I mean? Because we are not living in awareness at all times of, we are not moving in our heart. And now the question arose of, so then how do you be in your heart all the time? Do you just, like, do you have to be emotional all the time? Like what? I would say that that is there, but when we're dealing with this question of the mind going renegade, right? When this mind is making decisions and taking you in directions that your heart doesn't want to go, right? If, for example, you want to do something, your heart has decided on something outside of your sphere of common sense, like like how I love Italian, you know or like once upon a time how I went and learned classical dancing, like for what, in my 20s, my late 20s. And there are so many things that we do because our heart leads us, and we are led in a spiritual dimension for spiritual reasons to do those things. It's not like I went to dance because I was going to become a professional dancer, because after a few years of, I put in a lot of work to, Indian classical dance, and the one I chose is one of the most difficult ones. It's very demanding on the body. It changes your body shape, and if you stop, right, you put on a lot of weight when you stop. Not weight, but like lymphatic retention, because it's such a demanding. It was like a martial art sort of thing, but even more than a martial art, demanding on the body. And I did it, and it was not because I want to become a professional dancer. I did it for the sheer joy. And then I got pregnant, and I couldn't continue when I was pregnant. And I went to the mountains, and there you can't be bare feet. And it's extremely cold, and for this dance you have to be bare feet. So I couldn't practice every day in the winter, so that kind of broke the rhythm. But it didn't matter in the long run, because my spiritual experience and my spiritual journey, it happened. And to this day, I'm living in that joy, that inheritance that I picked up from that thing that I did out of joy, right? And now our heart and our soul constantly is leading us in paths of joy, paths which we cannot with our mind see the end of. And what our mind does is tell us that if you cannot see where this is going, then you got to deny yourself the joy. If you can't see how you're going to make money with a skill, then you don't want to waste your time learning it. How many of us went and did ridiculous things in university because we were told that we'll earn money? Like, I actually went into IT when I hated computers. It all worked out for me in the end, but seriously, I should have gone into doing something that gave me joy, and I didn't. And there was a karma for that. There's always a karma when you reject your joy. It's your own sweet path. It's your own sweet path that you must walk. You must love who you love. You must eat what gives you happiness. You must drink what gives you happiness. You must sleep in whichever the hell position your body wants to sleep in. You must do what you want with your hair, with your face, with your clothes, with your body, with your stomach. You must become fat if you want to become fat, and you must become thin if you want to, whatever makes you happy. That is your sweet path of joy. And my soul tells me that humanity is at a crossroads where if we want to leave this shitty trauma fucking matrix, the path is not through philosophy. It is not through reasoning, because all of these are completely like, I don't, there's very little Ed that is not infiltrated. Very little. The path is the path of joy. That's because this is the trauma matrix. What's the opposite of trauma? Love, joy, joy. And joy comes from love, period. That's the way out. And we are at this crossroads, let me tell you, we are at this crossroads where we can choose joy, whatever makes us happy, whatever makes us like feel like singing, feel like dancing. And believe me, we can't just look at something and say, okay, this will give me joy today. If it gives you joy, it gives you joy, and if it doesn't give you joy, it does. You can't make it, right? You can't do anything about it. Some complete, asshole on the internet probably make you laugh, and where some great voice of wisdom might make you feel tired and drained and burdened. So you just have to see where you actually feel joy, and know that that's your portal out of the matrix. And we are all here because of how our mind has consistently made us turn away from what actually makes us happy, because we've got all these reasons for it. We're like, uh, I don't want to I don't want to do that thing, because if I do that thing, then this will happen, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. This is all crap. Okay? And Ed, I'm coming back to my point. Why I start making this why I start making this video is this. Okay, now this is the crux, okay? This is the place where we choose between joy and leaving the matrix as we follow on our path, and stalling here in stagnant energy, falling ill while being so wise, and staying unhappy, miserable, lonely, hairful. You know what I mean, right? So I'll tell you which is that point. That point is in the belief of in miracles. This is where the brain connects with the heart. That point where the brain connects with the heart is encapsulated in one word: miracle. If your brain believes that miracles are possible, then it will stop making those micro decisions that take you away from joy. Because the reason the brain is taking you in paths away from joy, the reason the brain is reinforcing all your programming, your negative programming, is because the brain is thinking that it is not possible for me to survive. It is not possible for me to live. It is not possible for me to continue on that path. But if the brain says, hold on a minute, a miracle can happen. A miracle, something out of the flowchart that I feel, that I believe is normal. If a miracle can happen, then I can go on that path. And this is how we unprogram our brain from Thug Matrix, because Thug Matrix is all about, if you want to do that, if you want to get that, then you have to go on this route.